2. The golden sun rose over the Pride Lands, spilling warm light across the vast savannah. Simba, now older but still full of energy, stretched his powerful limbs and scanned the horizon. Today felt special. Thors. The winds carried whispers of adventure, challenges, and lessons waiting to be discovered. Simba had grown much since the days of his youth. He had faced betrayal, loss, and fear. But he had also learned the meaning of courage, responsibility, and leadership. As the young cubs of the Pride Lands played nearby, Simba felt a tug at his heart, a sense of duty to guide them. To ensure that the future of the Pride Lands was bright and strong, Simba padded toward the young cubs, his golden mane glinting in the sunlight. "Good morning, little ones," he said warmly. The cubs squealed with delight, rushing to greet him. "Simba, Simba," they chorused, their tiny paws kicking up clouds of dust. Simba knelt down, nuzzling each of them gently. "Today, I want to show you something important," he said, a glint of seriousness in his amber eyes. "Being strong is not just about muscles, or Caesar, it's about heart, courage, and thinking wisely." The cubs listened intently, their wide eyes reflecting both excitement and curiosity. They didn't yet fully understand the weight of Simba's words, but they felt the warmth and confidence that radiated from their leader. Simba led them to the edge of a clearing, where the wind carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the distant sound of rushing water. "Leadership," Simba began, "is about taking care of others, Mekani, knowing the right choices, and knowing that every action matters." He paused, letting the words sink in. Sometimes, being a leader means making tough decisions that not everyone will understand. But if your heart is true, you will find the way. One of the cubs, Sneer, tilted her head and asked, "But Simba, what if we make a mistake?" Simba's eyes softened. "Mistakes are part of learning. Eben, I made mistakes when I was younger. The important thing is to learn, grow, and keep moving forward with courage." Their lesson was interrupted by a commotion near the river. A group of young animals was trapped on a slick, muddy slope, unable to climb to safety. Simba's instincts kicked in immediately. "Follow me," he said. Slow. The cubs padded behind him, watching closely. The young lion approached the riverbank, assessing the situation. He saw a clever fox observing from a nearby rock. "Finn," Simba called, "we need your help." The fox nodded, his eyes bright with determination. "Let's do this together," he said. Finn quickly devised a plan. Simba would help lift the heavier animals while Finn guided the smaller ones to safe footholds. Simba moved carefully, using his strength to stabilize the ground while Finn darted among the trapped animals, giving precise instructions. The cubs watched, fascinated by how two creatures could work together to save many lives. Step by step, animal by animal, they were all guided to safety. The smallest rabbit hopped into Simba's paws for support, trembling but relieved. "Thank you," the rabbit squeaked, nuzzling Simba gently. Simba smiled, looking at the cubs. "You see," he said, "leadership is not about doing everything yourself. It's about knowing when to ask for help, how to guide others, and how to act with both courage and kindness." After the rescue, Simba and the cubs walked along the riverbank, Finn leading the way and pointing out hidden paths, interesting plants, and clever hiding spots that could serve as safe routes in times of danger. Simba spoke to the cubs about observation, awareness, and thinking ahead. "A true leader," he explained, "not only protects, but also prepares. You must watch, listen, and learn from the world around you." Day. The cubs nodded, their little tails flicking with excitement. They practiced observing birds, noticing tracks on the ground, and identifying different plants. Each small lesson built their confidence and understanding of the Pride Lands. As they ventured deeper into the savannah, Simba noticed dark clouds gathering above a distant hill. Thunder rumbled, and a sense of urgency filled the air. The cubs hesitated, unsure of what to do, but Simba's calm presence reassured them. "Stay close," he instructed. "We will find safety and help anyone in need." Finn's sharp eyes spotted a herd of antelope trapped on a narrow ridge, their path blocked by a fallen tree. "We can help them," Finn whispered. Simba nodded, devising a careful plan. Shu would move the larger obstacles while Finn guided the animals through the safest route. The cubs watched intently, learning that strategy, patience, and bravery often went hand in hand. Simba and Finn worked seamlessly, demonstrating how strength combined with intelligence could solve even the trickiest problems. Step by step, the antelope made their way down the ridge, led by the guidance of the lion, the fox, and the cubs, observing closely. The experience taught the young lions about empathy and responsibility. Simba turned to them and said, "Leadership is not just about being in charge. It's about protecting others, thinking ahead, and making sure everyone can succeed, even when the path is difficult." The storm finally broke, sending rain cascading over the Pride Lands. The cubs huddled close to Simba, watching as he and Finn helped smaller creatures find shelter. Birds perched on his mane for protection, and even a timid hedgehog found a cozy spot near his paws. Simba smiled, feeling the weight of his role as protector and teacher. "Sometimes," he said to the cubs, "the strongest hearts are also the kindest. And the cleverest minds are the ones that care for everyone." The cubs nodded, their eyes wide with understanding, though still young enough to marvel at every detail. By midday, the sun re-emerged, casting light over the damp grass and sparkling river. Simba led the cubs to a hidden grove where fruit trees and colorful flowers thrived. Finn explained clever ways to gather food safely and efficiently. Simba taught the cubs how to work together, emphasizing cooperation, patience, and respect for nature. They practiced lifting, passing, and sharing fruits, turning a simple task into a lesson in leadership and teamwork. Each small success reinforced the cubs' understanding that helping others and working together created stronger bonds and better results than acting alone. The group continued toward a rocky plateau, where a small herd of gazelles had been trapped by a sudden landslide. Simba assessed the situation and realized it was too risky to act without a plan. He called the cubs closer. "Watch carefully," he instructed. "Notice how Finn thinks, how I act, and how we coordinate our efforts." Finn pointed out safe footholds and weak rocks that could be moved. Simba used his strength to shift the heavier debris while guiding the smaller animals to safety. The cubs observed every move, their young minds absorbing lessons in courage, planning, and compassion. By evening, the storm had passed, and the sky glowed with brilliant colors as the sun set. Simba and the cubs climbed a hilltop, overlooking the vast Pride Lands. The day had been filled with challenges, rescues, and teamwork, but it had also been filled with laughter, learning, and unforgettable moments. Simba turned to the cubs, his eyes soft but strong. "Leadership is a journey, not a destination. Every day will bring new lessons, new challenges, and new opportunities to help others. Remember, courage without kindness is empty, and cleverness without heart is incomplete." As night fell, stars began to twinkle above, reflecting in the eyes of the cubs who sat quietly beside Simba. The young lions felt inspired, dreaming of the day they too would lead, protect, and guide the Pride Lands. Simba whispered a promise to them. "I will always teach, guide, and protect you. And one day, you will use what you've learned to help others, just as I have tried to do." Finn curled up nearby, sharing the warmth of friendship and cleverness that had guided them through every challenge. Together, they watched the moon rise, feeling the strength of family, community, and the enduring legacy of courage and wisdom. As the night deepened, a gentle breeze carried the sounds of distant animals settling in for rest. Simba reflected on his own journey from a young cub full of curiosity and fear to a lion capable of protecting and inspiring others. Each challenge had taught him something vital: responsibility, patience, empathy, cleverness, and, above all, the importance of teamwork. He knew that the future of the Pride Lands depended not only on his strength, but also on the lessons he passed on to the next generation. The cubs drifted off to sleep, dreaming of adventure, bravery, and friendship. Simba and Finn remained awake for a little longer, watching over the Pride Lands and reflecting on the day, too. The moonlight danced on the grass, and Simba felt a deep, unshakable certainty. Leadership was about more than power. It was about heart, courage, and the willingness to guide, protect, and inspire others. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but with patience, cleverness, and bravery. There was no obstacle they could not face together. The next morning, the Pride Lands were bathed in soft golden light, and the air buzzed with excitement. Simba woke early, stretching his strong limbs and taking in the fresh scents of the savannah. Today promised another adventure, one that would test not only courage, but wisdom, patience, and cleverness. The cubs, eager to learn more about leadership, gathered around Simba, their eyes wide and sparkling. "Good morning, little ones," Simba greeted warmly. "Today, we'll explore more of the Pride Lands and discover how true leaders act, even when challenges seem impossible." Finn, the clever fox, appeared at Simba's side with a sly grin. "And don't forget," he added, "we'll use brains and bravery together. That's the real magic." Their journey began toward the eastern hills, where a dense forest had grown over the years. Strange noises echoed from the trees, and shadows danced across the mossy ground. Simba and Finn led the cubs carefully, teaching them to observe tracks, listen for unusual sounds, and stay alert for danger. "A good leader sees more than what is obvious," Simba explained. "You must think ahead, anticipate problems, and be ready to act." The cubs nodded, fascinated by the layers of knowledge that went into leadership, far beyond just strength. As they moved forward, a faint cry reached their ears. Following the sound, they discovered a group of baby elephants trapped in a narrow gorge, their path blocked by fallen rocks and mud. Simba assessed the situation immediately. The gorge was steep and unstable, and rushing in without a plan could be dangerous. "Finn, I need your ideas," Simba said. Finn quickly examined the terrain and suggested creating a series of temporary ramps with sturdy branches and rocks, guiding the elephants step by step toward safety. Simba positioned himself at the heaviest points, using his strength to stabilize obstacles, while Finn led the baby elephants, encouraging them with gentle words. The cubs watched closely, learning how courage, strategy, and cleverness intertwined. With patience and coordination, all the elephants were safely guided out of the gorge, their trumpeting cries echoing joyfully across the forest. After the rescue, Simba gathered the cubs. "Leadership isn't about rushing in blindly," he explained. "It's about understanding the situation, listening to advice, and taking calculated actions that help everyone." The cubs nodded, understanding that thinking ahead was as important as courage. Finn added, "And clever solutions often come from teamwork. Strength alone is rarely enough." The lesson was clear. Every creature, big or small, had something valuable to contribute. True leaders knew when to combine their abilities with others. Their journey continued to a sparkling river, where the water flowed swiftly over smooth rocks. Along the bank, a family of otters struggled to cross. The cubs gasped as the strong current threatened to sweep the young otters downstream. Simba carefully studied the river, noting the safest points and the areas where the current was strongest. Finn darted ahead, placing rocks in strategic spots to act as stepping stones. Simba guided the otters onto the rocks, encouraging them to balance and move carefully. One by one, each otter crossed safely, and the cubs cheered. Simba turned to them, smiling. Notice how planning, courage, and cleverness all work together. A tree leader always finds a way to protect those who cannot protect themselves. After the river, they ventured into a grove where fruit trees grew tall and heavy, with ripe fruit. However, the grove was guarded by a group of mischievous monkeys, notorious for playing tricks and hoarding food. Simba paused, observing the monkeys swinging and chattering. "Thief. This is a different kind of challenge," he told the cubs. "Sometimes, leadership means diplomacy, patience, and fairness, not force." Finn whispered a plan. "Let's show the monkeys the value of sharing. We can create a game where helping others is more rewarding than hoarding." Simba nodded and approached the monkeys calmly. "We understand that these fruits are valuable to you," Simba began. "Father, but there are many hungry animals who need them too. If we work together, everyone can enjoy the bounty." The monkeys stopped and considered, curious about Simba's words. Finn added, "Let's have a challenge. Whoever helps distribute the fruits fastest gets the first taste." The monkeys grinned, excited by the idea. Together, Simba, Finn, and the monkeys organized a system to pass the fruits along to the smaller animals. Laughter and cheers filled the grove as the cubs watched, amazed at how clever thinking and kindness could solve a potentially tense situation. After the grove, Simba and the cubs climbed a high hill to look over the Pride Lands, the faith, and the mountains standing tall in the distance. But there was more to be learned. Leadership, Simba said, also means being aware of the bigger picture. You need to see challenges before they happen and act to prevent harm. Just then, they noticed smoke rising from a distant valley. A small fire had started, threatening nearby animals and plants. Simba and Finn quickly devised a plan to control it. Simba would use his strength to clear dry brush, while Finn organized the animals to help and guide younger creatures to safety. Words working together, they controlled the fire before it could spread too far. The cubs were amazed at how leadership required not just bravery, but quick thinking, communication, and collaboration. Simba turned to them, his voice gentle but firm. "Every challenge teaches a lesson. Every act of courage, cleverness, and kindness leaves a mark. You are learning to see the world, not just with your eyes, but with your heart," Finn added. "And remember, even the smallest ideas can have the biggest impact." The cubs listened intently, understanding that leadership was about action, reflection, and empathy. As night fell, the cubs, Simba, and Finn returned to a quiet hilltop. The stars sparkled overhead, and the air was filled with the sounds of peaceful animals settling in for the night. Simba gathered the cubs close. "Today, you've seen courage in action, cleverness in problem solving, and teamwork in helping others. These are the pillars of leadership. Remember them always." Finn curled up beside Simba, adding, "Never forget that friendship and heart are just as important as strength and intelligence." The cubs drifted to sleep, dreaming of adventures, bravery, and clever solutions. Simba watched over them, feeling proud and reflective. His journey from young cub to king had taught him countless lessons, and now he had the privilege of passing them on to the next generation. He knew that each challenge, each act of kindness, and each clever idea would help shape the leaders of tomorrow. The Pride Lands were safe, the animals were happy, and Simba's legacy continued not just through his strength, but through the lessons he shared and the hearts he inspired. The final morning of the lesson dawned with a soft pink sky, and the Pride Lands felt calm, yet full of promise. Simba stood atop Pride Rock, gazing across the land he loved so deeply. He felt proud, not because he was king, but because he had grown into a leader who understood that leadership was about service, patience, and heart. Below him, The cubs gathered once more, stretching and yawning, excited for what the day would bring. Simba descended to join them, his presence steady and reassuring. "Today," he said gently, "we will talk about legacy, what you leave behind through your actions, your choices, and how you treat others." Finn padded up beside him, flicking his tail thoughtfully. "A legacy isn't something you build in one day," the fox added. It's built through many small moments that add up over time." The cubs listened closely, sensing the importance of these words. Simba led them toward a wide-open plain where animals from all across the Pride Lands had gathered. There was a sense of unease in the air. A long drought had dried up the smaller watering holes, and tensions were rising as animals worried about the future. Simba knew this was the perfect moment to teach the cubs about fairness, wisdom, and calm leadership during difficult times. Simba approached the gathered animals and raised his voice not in a roar, but in a calm, steady tone. "We will face this challenge together," he said. "No one will be left behind." Some animals murmured in doubt, others in hope. Simba turned to the cubs and whispered, "Watch closely. Leadership means staying calm when others are afraid." Finn stepped forward with an idea. "There are hidden water sources in the northern hills," he said. "If we work together, we can guide everyone safely and share what we find." Simba nodded, trusting Finn's knowledge and encouraging cooperation among the animals. Groups were formed, each led by animals with different strengths. Elephants helped dig, birds scouted from above, antelope guided paths, and smaller animals carried messages. Simba moved among them, offering encouragement, solving small disagreements, and reminding everyone of their shared goal. The cubs followed him, watching how he listened carefully, respected every voice, and made thoughtful decisions. When water was finally found, cheers echoed across the plains. The animals drank peacefully, sharing space and taking turns. Simba gathered the cubs once more. "Leadership," he said softly, "means putting the needs of the whole above your own." Later that day, as the sun climbed high, a sudden cry rang out. A young cheetah had been injured while running too fast across rocky ground. Fear spread quickly, but Simba acted immediately. He instructed the cubs to stay calm and asked Finn to fetch help. Simba stayed with the cheetah, offering comfort and reassurance. When help arrived, the cheetah was safely guided to rest and recover. 3. The cubs saw how compassion and presence mattered just as much as action. Sometimes, Simba told them, being a leader means simply being there for someone when they are hurting. As the afternoon stretched on, Simba led the cubs to a quiet place beneath an old acacia tree. The shade was cool, and the breeze gentle. Simba sat with them, his voice warm and reflective. "When I was younger," he began, "I was afraid of failing. I thought leaders had to be perfect. But I learned that true leaders grow by learning from mistakes and by never giving up on themselves or others." The cubs leaned in, absorbing every word. Finn smiled, knowing how far Simba had come. "Confidence," Finn added, "comes from doing what's right, even when it's hard." The cubs were given a chance to practice leadership themselves. Simba presented them with small challenges, helping a lost bird find its nest, organizing a game fairly, and resolving a small disagreement between two friends. Simba and Finn observed quietly as the cubs worked together, sometimes stumbling, sometimes succeeding. When mistakes were made, Simba gently guided them, never scolding, always teaching. By the end, the cubs felt proud, stronger, and more confident. They realized leadership wasn't something far away in the future. It started now, in how they treated others each day. As evening approached, animals from across the Pride Lands gathered for a peaceful celebration. Music filled the air, laughter echoed, too, and the sky glowed with warm colors. Simba stood with the cubs, watching the joy around them. "This," he said, "is legacy. Not power, not fear, but unity, kindness, and hope. Finn nodded in agreement. You don't have to be the loudest, he said. Sometimes the strongest leaders lead quietly, by example. When night fell, stars covered the sky like scattered jewels. Simba led the cubs back to Pride Rock. They curled up beside him, tired but happy. One cub looked up and asked, Simba, will we really be good leaders someday? Simba smiled, his eyes shining with warmth. You already are, he said. Every kind choice, every brave moment, every time you help someone, you are building your legacy, Ades. The cubs drifted to sleep. Simba looked out over the Pride Lands one last time that night. He felt peace in his heart. His legacy was not just in the land he protected, but in the hearts he guided. Finn settled beside him, and together they watched the moon rise. The future was bright, filled with leaders who would grow with courage, kindness, and wisdom. And as the Pride Lands rested under the stars, Simba knew his legacy would live on not through his roar, but through the lessons he shared and the young hearts he inspired.